And you want us to mute?
If you want to, it doesn't sound like it's loud anywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so a couple of things. We were at looking at, well, how many of you guys watched last night or were on with me last night or watched the recording? Linda, Gloria.
I was, yeah, okay. For the majority of it.
Okay, so she updated the website, so I don't even know if I can get to where that was yesterday. So good thing we did that call yesterday. Julie did for Mission Driven Model. Mm-hmm. But I don't know where the coaching guides are now. Coach, oh, I think I just found them. Okay, there's the page. So I'm going to just show you this. If you want details on it, just go back and watch what I did yesterday for getting to sales coordinator, because a lot of it is, I mean, it's structured exactly the same. And this not updated. So this is still saying 8,000 and it has the old bonus money on it. But I like it because it does have SSC, QNMD, and NMD, so you can see the requirements on those. So once she gets those updated with the new ones, it'll be helpful. But, you know, sometimes it's like, we'll shoot for Q, and then you'll get SSC, because we want to go above and beyond what it is. So then if you're not familiar with the Royal Crown, or the being the 1645, then you'll want to watch that from last night, because I went into all of this and what that meant and what it looked like, and then the Royal Crown activity and how you can figure out how much your paycheck will be up by adding 5 customers, 1 team member that you helped to get to DD, and 1 that you helped to get to VF in 1 month. That's what the Royal Crown is called. And Wendy Campbell, she trains on that a lot. And then the next steps is really, you know, some of this, we can talk about this as well. But I want to show you guys the, wait, did I even share my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm like, am I even showing you guys anything? Okay, so now can you see the title and incentive requirement guide? Do you see that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So that's what we're going to look at today. And then it has the club achievements. So this was just given to us at conference. It was introduced to us at the NMD meeting, but they never really talked about it at conference. So kind of interesting. I haven't looked at the insights email that comes out on Wednesdays. I haven't looked in there to see if they had anything mentioned about it in there either, but that was our guess, is they were going to talk about it more in that email. So not sure, but when we're looking at HLP and 2,000 plus and then fast track to sales coordinator, there weren't any changes in the requirements. It was still the same structure that you needed and the same points. And so here's the difference with senior sales coordinator. Before, if you remember when I was looking at this one, it said that you needed 8,000 payline PVC. So that's 8,000 in 1 month. That's what that's saying. And this is saying you need 16,000 over 2 months. So it actually is helpful, because sometimes you'll have a big growth month. So you may have had 7,000 1 month, and then you have, like, you know, a couple people get to VF, then you would have a jump in your pay line, and then it would bump you up to 9,000 that month. So the 7 and the 9 together would be the 16 that you needed, versus it had to be 8,000 and it had to be 8,000. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Connie's saying no.
I'm not a numbers person, so.
Okay, so if it's 2 months, in the way it was before, there were 2 months. Can you guys see my face too, or just the?
Yes.
Okay. So there was, and it's still talking about 2 months, but what it was saying is that you had to have 8,000 both months to be able to get there. Before it was 8,000.
Right.
Now they're
Right.
saying it has to be 16,000 over 2 months. Well, 8,000 plus 8,000 is 16,000. But what if this month you have 7,000 and
Gotcha.
this month you have 9,000? Now you've got 16,000 in that same 2 months. Before
Okay.
you wouldn't have been able to count this one because it was
Great.
okay. 7,000. So you just would
That's
have that.
16,000 over 2 months.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So adding those together. So that actually is a better thing.
Yes.
Okay. So then structure is, so 2 of those months, 2 working lines that are qualified. Okay. So 2 qualified businesses. So think in your head, who's qualified on your team or who was close? And it has to be 2 of those months. Both of those months you have to have those qualifiers. So like Connie, that would be Robin and
And Rob.
Alicia.
Right.
But they need to stay qualified both of those months.
And are you talking about just direct to us? Those working lines have to be direct to us?
Right. A line is direct.
Okay.
That's what they mean by line. So it's somebody that you personally sponsored.
Okay.
Okay. Working lines means that they need to have 6 team members underneath them that have 3 customers each. So it doesn't even mean they have to be DDs. It just means they need 90 PVC volume each month. So that was about 3 customers. So if you're like, okay, let's look at Alicia and let's look at, Robin, do they have team members?
Right.
Do they have 6 team members underneath them?
Nope.
Okay, so that's where you would know, okay, that's where I need to put my time in. So I can look at their customer base, who loves their Juice Plus within that customer base that you can go in and say, hey, would you like to do this with us? So if you think about it, if you work on them getting their 6 to 8 customers, are they going to be qualified? Yes. The points are always going to come. Work on structure first. So 6 team members is the structure part of it. Work on that. The points are going to happen. Don't ever worry about the points. Always focus on the structure. You get them 4 team members that get 3 customers, they have their qualified business easily. Okay? Are we good on that?
Yes.
Okay. So it used to be 6 to 8 is what they would say, but now they're saying just 6. They need 6 team members underneath them that have at least 3 customers. So family planners are fine.
Okay.
Okay, so then 1 sales coordinator and 2 VFs at least. And so this is, we're talking fast tracking. Okay, so this is new to you. 1 new sales coordinator and 2 new people that get to VF. And that's why they give you 6 months to do it, because it takes time to build up somebody to sales coordinator. And it may be more than 6 months. I don't know. It doesn't say the time frame there. So 1 sales coordinator and 2 VFs. At least one of those has to be a 2,000 plus frontline in the past 6 months. So I think like your sales coordinator can be somebody on your team that you bring up to sales coordinator. So Connie, that could be Robin. Yeah, Robin or Alicia. And then you need 2 VFs. So both of those are VFs. So you would need to help 2 other people fast track to VF.
Okay. And it has to be a fast track. It can't be promoting to VF just because they've arrived there eating their way.
That's what this says. It says at least 1 2,000 plus, which means fast track.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
And then 1 DD, and you need to have 3 qualifiers. So 3 people that are qualified to you.
Okay.
So really your SC and your 2 VFs all have to be fully qualified.
Yeah, that's the easiest.
And those do not have to be new people but they do have to do a fast track either to VF or SC during that time, during the time that we fast track.
It says at least one 2,000 plus frontline in the past 6 months. So those need to be like, well, here's what I'm going to tell you, girls. If your current team could get you there, they would have gotten you there, right?
Yeah.
Like we can
I was
keep
thinking
trying
that, yeah.
to milk the dairy cow till she's screaming, as Wendy Campbell says. Or go find new. Like at least those VFs, because you need the volume. You need 16,000 points. Volume is going to come from new.
Right.
The rest, it all adds in. So you want to keep the team members you have, and you want to keep their PVC. You want that stable, and we're not dropping them. But if you need more points than what you have, then you need new people, not just talking your old people into doing more. And that's where we get stuck. That's what they call management mode. Have you ever heard people say that? Once you get into a leadership position, don't get stuck in management mode. It's frontline to you. It's new people direct to you that's going to build that faster than you can even imagine. What feels slow is trying to get your team members, the same ones, to do and work and go when they don't want to. They don't see it yet. They don't have the desire, whatever it is, they're not. So that's where it gets frustrating too. And that's where you're going to feel stuck. New is what unstucks us.
Okay. I told Elaine that. I just didn't want to take that myself.
Oh, yeah. That's for them.
Yeah. You need to go do that. No, I'm kidding.
And like I said, your volume that you have right now is there because of your team. So you want to keep that volume. You need that to get to the 16,000 for 2 months. But your new is it's gonna bring in a lot. So your sales coordinator, I don't believe that has to be a new person. So think of, okay, who on my team can I get to sales coordinator? And then easily, girls, you need to get 2 new people to fast track. When you do that, it's going to build so much confidence in you. If it's been a while since you've had somebody fast track, you're probably thinking, I don't even know if that is an existing thing. Like, how does that, people talk about this whole fast track VF, like, I don't even know. So does that mean you just find 2 people and you get them and you make them fast track? No, you're going to need probably 8 people new to you, new team members, to find 2 that will fast track.
Okay.
But in that 8, you're getting points for that, right? Like you're getting volume. So it's totally fine. And when you set them free from that, that's going to help you not be frustrated. But if you're still thinking, well, my team just isn't working, that's not fair. It's not your team's job to get you there. You have to do it. You have to find new people. That's what's going to get you there. And that's going to come directly from the work that you put in from here on out. And everything that's existing right now is just, that's like the support base that's going to get you there as well. It all adds together, but it's not about going back and making our team work. Some of them may want to come along with you, but it's going to be new.
Right.
Yeah.
So the bonus is $1,000 now.
Woo!
Stacy, when you talk about, I know you're saying not to pay attention to the points necessarily, you're looking at structure, but as far as the points go, when it says 8,000 payline PVC, are you looking at, I ran off my report, are you looking at all of it, including the stuff is hung over from the previous months? Does that make sense? So the excess PLB, the excess
No,
PB.
Payline is going to be on the very last page of your downline growth and current PVC report. Did you
Right, that's the one I'm looking at, the small numbers.
Very bottom of that list, at the very bottom of the last page, what's that number? I'm missing the page on mine.
So the excess, because it's what it has is personal volume credit. I'm not looking at the right one. Performance bonus, excess PLB, not that?
No, like at the very bottom of the page, the very last sheet, the very bottom of the page.
I don't know. I mean, maybe you guys can help me out here. I don't know what you're talking about.
Where's the last page of your PVC report?
Yeah, so I have the one page that has all the people on it.
Okay.
And then I have the other page that it's the legend of it. And then the back one, the back page that has the 5 or 6 highlighted points here.
Okay, don't look at that.
Worldwide.
The
TV
page
totals.
that has all of your team on it then.
That's the one you're looking at? Okay.
Yeah, the very bottom number, it's on the bottom, kind of in the right hand. It's not in the column. What does that number say?
It's like way low, so I don't even know if this is silly for me to even be looking at. I mean, maybe I'm not getting the grand picture here, but the points are like 3,000, I think is what we're looking at.
Yeah, okay. So 3,000.
3,900 and something.
Yeah, so that's 4,000. So don't look at the 16,000. Remember, that's 2 months. So 1 month of, let's say, 7,000, and you're at 4,000, then you need new volume of 3,000 points. Okay. What does a fast track VF bring in 2 months? 2,000 points.
Okay.
Right? Because they need 2,000 points.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Right? So now you can start backing it up. If you need 4,000 points, because you've got 4,000, and let's just say it has to be 8,000 for the first month. So if you've got 4,000 and you need 4,000, you're halfway there.
Fast tracks.
Right.
Okay.
So address what you just said, though. You said, I don't even know. I mean, maybe it's silly that I'm even on here. That's what we need to talk about.
Well, that's what I said. I'm probably not looking at the big I'm not seeing the big picture, right? I'm not looking at it correctly.
Right.
So. Right.
So, just if you at least know where you're going, you know where to aim, you have a higher chance of getting there, right? It's not about, am I there or am I really close right now? Some of you may be looking at it. I remember, I would look at that and think 3,000, and an NMD has to have
10 or something.
30,000.
30,000.
How is that? What? It was 33,000. It's just, how is that even going to happen? But when you start getting team that's multiplying, that's what's happening. Customers add, team multiplies those points. So if you're looking at 4,000 new points, if you get 4 VFs, that's going to be, 4 new qualifiers. Think of it that way. 4 new qualifiers is 1,000 points a month.
That's so much easier to wrap my mind around. That's really helpful. Thank you.
I agree.
Yeah, that's much better than looking at those points.
Right.
I mean, you have to look at them, but that's really helpful.
So who else has a bottom number you want to look at?
Oh, mine's even lower, I think. Mine's I think mine was 2,900. It's the very, very bottom, right?
Right.
No, 2,600. Woo!
So, Jen,
I got my work cut out for me.
You could be borrowing to be POB qualified if it's at 2,600. So that's something to look at, because they bank 3,000 points for you if you go over. So if you're not quite there, you'll still be qualified, but you're now pulling in from that.
Okay. Yeah, this month I dropped a little bit. I'm fully banked, so I've got some but I'm pulling against it this month. I had a bunch of orders get pushed and canceled.
Oh, okay.
And it's it's part of it, it just happens. But if okay, I'm starting to dip into my savings, then that's where you have to look at, what is the activity been 3 months ago? What was my activity 3 months ago? And maybe that's something I haven't really talked to you guys about much. Your paycheck is a reflection of the activity you do 3 months prior.
Okay.
So if we think of it that way, when I do a bunch of activity and my paycheck doesn't go up that month, can I be aggravated? No, it grew an inch, right? First year bamboo, it grows an inch. Second month, I start doing some more. I continue with the activity. I get some new team members, and I'm still moving in activity. We've got new things happening. An inch, like my paycheck grows an inch. So at that point, do you say, this really isn't working? Month 3, you're doing great activity. You're still keeping up that momentum. You've got good things happening, and it grows a feet, a foot, a feet. It grows a feet. It grows a foot. And you're like, oh, okay. That 4th month, that's when you're going to see your paycheck, because it reflects what you did 3 months before, because all of that activity adds up. And that's where you see the accumulation of all of that work adding up to where you get that 4th month paycheck. You're like, dang, this works. This is good. Like, you're going to see an improvement. Obviously, if you're getting new customers, that's a fast way to build your paycheck. But if you're getting new team members, they're getting the retail sales profit. So you may not see that really helps your paycheck that month. So the thought may be, well, I'll just keep them as customers and I'll make the retail sales profit on it. But that's small thinking. That's right here this month thinking. What happens when you've got a qualifier 3 months later, a new qualifier, and what volume that brings in? Now multiply that by 4 people. And you have to believe it works, because it does. I've seen it. Even if you've not seen it in your own business, if you've seen it in somebody else's, then you have to say, okay, that works. So if it's not working for me, it's a skill set that I need to learn, or it's an increase in activity that I need to do. And you probably know which one it is. And it may be both. So let's talk about something that I know I started doing once I was reaching for a senior sales coordinator. One, Gloria and I were doing a ton of activity, a ton of presentations, and we would do presentations and nobody came. And so, oh, look, it's a distributor training night. And it would just be the 2 of us. We never wasted a moment, right, Gloria?
Right.
We
were together a lot, one-on-one.
At my kitchen table. So we would find something for me to teach her, some new thing. So one, are you working with your team to be teaching them and doing activity with them? So it's, I'm doing this activity, let's do that together. So what Gloria did was, okay, let's do another one, let's do another one, let's do another one. She prompted me and I was just trying to keep up with her. That's how I feel with Stephanie now. Like Stephanie here, she's like, we get through with one and she's like, okay, what's next? And I'm like, okay, 2 more next week. Like, we're doing 2 events a week here at my house because she has a toddler at home and it's just easier here. So it's keeping my house clean. That's a good thing. But me jumping in and doing with that activity with her, holy cow, girls, my income has shot up. My new team members has shot up. My customer count is shot up. Like, I can't help but get customers now at this point because of all the activity that always gets results. I tell you that it really does. Activity always gets results. So what are you doing with them? Then second thing is, where are you stepping up into leadership in your community or in your life? So I thought of this today. When I was working to senior sales coordinator, I started thinking, okay, what does a senior sales coordinator or a leader within Juice Plus do? Name some things that you guys feel somebody in leadership with Juice Plus in one of those positions. What are they doing? Not sure.
Can you ask that again, Stacey?
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. What are some things that you think, okay, this is something an SSC does, or this is something a QNMD does, or these are things that an NMD does?
Consistency?
More activity.
Activity? Like, what would that look like? That you're not, like, that you think, oh, yeah, but that's what NMDs do. I'll just toss out one and maybe this will help you guys start thinking. What about being the speaker? not just coming to the event, but being the speaker at the event. My first PowerPoint, girls, that I did, this was even before Gloria. I think it was 86 slides.
Were your people sleeping?
No, I had a cattle prod and I was awake. 86 slides. I found it today. Impressive, right? At a grocery store, they had like a community room that you could use. 86. So was it perfect? No, that was when we still lived in Alabama and I was a sales coordinator. Then when we moved, I started doing a team event where I would have my team meet. And guess who came at first? My sister. She was the only team member I had in Bloomfield, and she just wanted to hang out with me. So like, I'm trying to talk business with her, and she's like, no, let's just have some chocolate cake. Like she wasn't interested. But then I got a few more, and then Gloria came along, and then she had teams, so we started doing events. And I would think, what the heck am I going to talk about at this training? I don't even know. I would pick something that I had listened on a call, and I would just talk to them about what it was that I listened to. Was I the best trainer? No. Am I still the best trainer? No, but you have to start somewhere. So start thinking about how can you guide your team, not just telling them do this. One, doing the activity, come on along and do this with me. That's going to bring new to you anyway. And it's going to give you confidence with your new people as well. And they're going to see, okay, this is what it looks like. If they see you just do an event every once in a while, or you just invite to the big events, that's what they're going to do. They're going to emulate what activity you're doing. So like being the speaker at the events, that's a really big step into that leadership position. That's what I'm talking about. Something that you see that somebody in leadership would do that you may not be doing now. Is there anything else you guys can think of?
Doing three-way calls.
Yeah.
I do team meetings. I do events. But that terrifies me, and I already have people asking me, and I'm like, okay.
Yes, just say okay. Like, it is scary, and you don't want to mess it up, if you will. So what I did is I was had been out of doing those three-way calls for a while, and I did a three-way call with Sharon and Joni and Wendy Campbell on the call. And I loved it. And that's not typical, my response from Campbell. So I was like, okay, what did I love about that? What did I like? And then that's what I'm going to do. What do I not like on a call? Is it just because I don't like the pressure of it, or I don't like, being called out, whatever it is? Like, don't shy away from it just because it's uncomfortable. Like, it's going to be uncomfortable until you do it enough times that you know what to do. But I wrote down what did I want to say on that three-way call. And I think that there's even a training we have. At one point I had something printed out that was like, what do you cover on a three-way call? And it was from Wendy. And I could tell, like, she did that. That's exactly what she did. She followed that in the call. And then that gave me some structure. But there were things that I liked, and probably you like. She was very positive. She was very connective. How do you get good at that? You just do it. So
I like doing it.
Can you find that training?
Yeah, where the heck is that? I know I have it.
Okay, if you find it, would you send it to me?
Yeah, send
And
it to us.
it's been since I lived here. I've got it printed somewhere.
Okay.
But I bet it's on campbellteam.net too.
Okay. Sorry, Linda. I think I interrupted you.
Oh, no, it's okay. I think isn't there a three-way call or talk training?
On Mission Driven Model?
I think so. If it's not there, it's Wendy Campbell's site.
Yep. There is training on that, so that's a good thing. Now you're talking, Linda. Go find the resources. Go learn how to do it. Part of it is just doing, but you still need to be prepared so you're not like, you don't want to sound like you don't know what you're doing. right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we're afraid of. So if you have a plan, you're going to feel less likely to feel like you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
I feel like I need to be better about bringing my customers in three-way calls to either Gloria or Stacy, because that builds my confidence in hearing you guys do it. I have no problem doing three-way calls with my teammates right now, but I feel like I'm not great at it. Like, I don't feel like we're getting wonderful results from it. So I'm wondering, is it me? So then I'm like, well, I've not been doing it enough, taking my customers to you guys, because that trains me on three-way calls too. That's what I've been thinking I really need to be better about.
That's another perfect next step. A perfect one, exactly. So start having somebody do them for you so that you learn from it.
I'm going to make Jamin do them with me.
Yeah,
think
I'll do it. I'll do it, Jen. We'll fake it till we make it, and
That's
we will
right.
do it.
So,
Ow.
ow, she says.
I'm not doing good, and I promised I did not drink at Hibachi. This is sober day.
Okay, so three-way calls, that's a great one. What's something else?
I know I need to work on more events.
Mm-hmm. Me
Because
too.
the training, when I do events, I like doing them. I like talking at the events. I like doing the we used to do the whole PowerPoint presentation. It's so much easier now. You can just stick in one of the deals, it's so easy. But that's not a problem for me. It's just getting the event scheduled and inviting. That's one thing I need to go back and look at. I know there's trainings out there about finding people to invite. When you've been doing it for a while, you feel like you're running out of people. I have a stack of contacts from booths and stuff, and I want to go back through all those and just see if people are interested still or again or yet.
Right? Have you
In
done
that,
any salad jar events?
I'm sorry.
Have you done any salad jar events at your
Yeah.
house?
Yeah, they work well. I like doing them. I think I got in a rut of not scheduling events, and it's a bad rut because I need to start doing that more.
And sometimes we think we have to start inviting 3 weeks out. Most of the time, who I get at an event is people I invited the night before or that day.
That's true.
Like, why do you guys think that would be the case a lot of times? I'm not talking like a big doctor's event. We gotta get them to put that on their calendar. Here's why I think it is. If I have a health talk at my house, it is not going to trump anything else in their life. If something else comes up, they will go to the something else over my health talk that I'm doing, for the most part, for most people, right? Like, they're not going to reschedule their mom's birthday. They're not going to not go to one of their kids' somethings. Like, it's not going to be of high priority to them. So who am I really looking for? Somebody who doesn't have something to do that night. And somebody that, yesterday didn't have anything on the calendar for the next night. That's who a lot of times I get. It's last minute people. But if I don't put it on the schedule and at least start inviting, then the event can't
Doesn't
happen.
happen. Yeah.
But then the next time I invite, those people already said no. They're more likely to say yes the next time. But it can't be 7 months from now, 3 months from now, even a month from now. We need to be consistent.
Stacy, I think that's it for me. And I didn't realize, I think part of my problem is I'm trying to wait until it's going to be the perfect time and, perfect place, the perfect event. I think I'm doing too much of that.
Yeah, just throw something together.
okay, so on that line, Stacy, I'm with Linda and what she just said about the perfect, but I also have a reticence because of follow-up. Like, I want to do things well, and to me, in my head, all I can think of is event requires a lot of inviting, a lot of follow-up. It sounds like chaos. And so is there a smooth plan where it doesn't have to feel that way, that I'm that I'm not leaving people in my dust by having event after event. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm
Well, if I
being
do
clear.
an event and somebody doesn't come, I don't have to call them the next day and say, oh, you missed it. Like maybe a big event, yes, but not
Right.
a small one, because I'm going to be calling them, or we say call. Hello, nobody calls anyone anymore. I'm going to be messaging them and like next week to come to the next one. So that's kind of my follow-up is another one.
Okay.
So I have
probably
the journal that
making
I've
too much
talked
of it.
with you guys about, where I'm just putting the people's name in there, and then I put their name, where I know them from, and then the date that they order. So that does a couple things. Like one, if this is an internet, like a Zoom or a Facebook, who am I going to invite to that? Not my people that live here, right? Because I want to try to get them to a live event. I'm going to focus on my people that are still back in Alabama that have not come to an event or have wanted to come to something, that are still on my list. That's who I'm going to invite to the Zoom calls that we have. But I don't have to go through all of these pages to, I've got those kind of written down here because it happened to be when we moved. So I had their names, like my Alabama people, and then you can see where my New Mexico people started. So then when I have an event local, that's who I'm going to invite to it. And I'm going to start with the people that I think are the most receptive, who've been like, oh, Stacy, I really want to come, but I just haven't been able to make it. That's who I'm going to go through my list first. I have the same message, and I'm just sending it to them just with their name, personalize their name, same message over and over again, ending with a question, if you're interested, or do you think you can come? Then if they say yes, then I send them the flyer and the details, or at least it starts a conversation. I'm not sending them the flyer. It's just some sort of verbiage to get the conversation started that ends in a question.
All that makes sense. I was just picturing numerous events with numerous people that you're having to invite and follow up every time, and it just sounded like too much. But thanks for playing that out for me. That makes sense.
Well, Connie, too, the way I look at it, too, you might invite to that event and you're going to get one or two people.
Right. I mean, that's what,
yeah. And then your team, I always invite my team. Maybe they'll get one or two, and that's for them to follow up with.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm thinking of it more in this grand picture that there's a lot of people coming, and it looks like it's more organic than that.
Right.
But I totally get what you're saying, Connie. I get it. Because it seems like there's the inviting and the keeping up with who's saying yes, and then once you get to the event, trying to keep up with them on the event, and then following up after. I think I had to wrap my head around that's just the nature of the beast.
Right.
Like that's going to be part of it with events, because it is going to be more chaotic than just reaching out to one person at a time.
Right.
Because that's what it is. You're trying to get people there, and you're trying to do it quickly, and you're trying to do it correctly and effectively. So I do feel chaos around events, a lot of chaos, but I've had to just, drink a lot of vodka through it. I'm kidding. You don't. Sometimes it is easier if you take a shot before you start inviting. It gives you a little bit more wings.
It's courage. No,
right.
For me, it just gives me a slurred voice. They're like,
that's why you text, Stacy. You don't call.
Oh, that's right. I'm not calling anyway. You guys have seen my text. Like, you're going to be like, she's totally took a shot. Okay, so 3-way calls and events. Being the speaker at events. What's something else?
Well, maybe you already kind of touched on that with team talks, but being able to teach your team how to do the very thing. Like you're doing it, but you're also getting your team to step out and do that more quick, more sooner rather than later.
Right.
So
empowering your team too. So if you do a health talk, bring one of your team members in to do a part of it with you.
Right.
Stacy, you're really good at that.
I think what that meant was I'm supposed to do a event with Connie and have her do it with me, right, Connie?
I can do that. I've also, going to be doing it with the rest of the people on my team as well. So, yeah.
Good answer,
Good.
Connie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you assign them a part of it, and then they feel like they're stepping into that as well.
Right.
And then, like you said, taking something that you learned from conference and then taking those nuggets and doing some sort of training around it with them.
And Linda was good with that when I was a new team member, to encourage me in that. And we did the Zoom calls where I was very, very fearful and did it. And that was good to be able to empower me so that I can move on in my business and lead people. It was good.
She does a really good job.
She does.
The other one I thought of was I started stepping into leadership in other places outside of our business.
Mm-hmm.
So, like being the guest speaker for something, like you're scared to death because you're like, what the heck, who am I to speak at this event? But like, just say, I would call a MOPS group and say, if you ever need a guest speaker, even last minute, call me because I can come and talk about nutrition. And you can do a generic Juice Plus presentation without using the words Juice Plus. Just say flooding your body with fruits and veggies, and being able to do that. Learning how to do PowerPoint. I didn't even have an email when I signed up as a distributor. Like, it was just being invented at that time. This is how long. no, email wasn't. But I didn't even have one. Didn't even have an email address. I knew nothing about computers other than Oregon Trail that I learned in school.
Whoa. Oh, I remember playing that with fourth graders.
Very fun. Dysentery ends you every time. Get you every time. She should have had Juice Plus. But start like learning how to do a PowerPoint. If you say, okay, I'll be the guest speaker, then you're like, oh no, what am I going to speak on? Then you learn it. Then you learn how to do a PowerPoint, and I can teach you in less than 81, 86 slides. Really easy. I can even send you some of mine, and then you personalize it. But how did I learn it? I learned it from doing it. We started doing Prevention Plus lectures. I watched Sharon come and she did one, and I was like, I could do that. I can do what she just did. And then I started putting one together, and then we would do it. I remember my parents came to the first one that I did, and they were like, you did good, Stace. Thank you, So it was you just step out and you start doing it. And that's one. Organizing a group. I would always say I was the MOPS coordinator. I got to practice leading a group of women that didn't affect my paycheck. I couldn't mess that up and make them go away. And if I did, I got to learn, okay, I maybe shouldn't have said that way. Or now I can eat some humble pie and go back to them. And I learned people skills from that and leadership skills. So step into some place of leadership. If it's a BSF course, even if you or the Bible study fellowship, that's what BSF is. But even if it's something you're like, but if I do this, it's going to take my time away. Yes, it's going to take your time away. But when you are the leader of a group, the people in that group look to you as the leader, and you already have more respect because you're giving of your time. They're thankful of the investment you're making. They feel a closer rapport with them because you're getting to know them different than if you're just sitting in the group. That ownership of that, it's just different. And then when you do talk to them about the health need that you hear, because you're hearing all of the discussion, and when you reach out to them, they're like, the leader reached out to me, right? You guys would feel that way. So find a place within the community that you can step up and you can be the leader of that, and it builds rapport very quickly. Even if it's a Facebook group. I start Facebook groups like that because I get to be the boss in there. I can decide I don't like what that lady's posting. Blocked her, took her out of the group. You can totally do that. So is there something that you're passionate about that you could start a Facebook page and start inviting people in? Nerdy Tuesday by Laura Dorsey. You know, she obviously had the medical background to be able to speak to that, but she still has to learn what she's going to be talking about. But then it draws people to her. So you can do it in Facebook. I started the newcomers group in our area for new people moving in. I was the new people. Like, what was I doing starting the new people group? But from my perspective, I knew what are some things I would have liked to have when I moved here. What would that have been help? So, and now when people come into that group, I'm the first one that sends them a message that says, hey, welcome. You know, and I get to find out what their family or what, do they have kids? And then I can add them, you know, talk to them. So it can generate conversations, but that wouldn't happen without stepping into some sort of leadership within that. So maybe there's something you're thinking, oh, okay. Teach a women's class on Wednesday night at your church. You can facilitate a book study. A video, you push the video play, you read the questions in the facilitator guide. It's great practice.
Hey, I go to the jail. I could get some new people from there.
Yeah. It's either, what did they say? People join out of, what is it? Motivation or desperation? Well, right there. Yep. But you can with the other ladies that you're doing that with, you know? That can be a circle of influence. You're looking for where can you have a circle of influence outside of your Juice Plus business? Because like I said, it's great leadership practice. Okay, next would be building skill set. That could be, like I said, learning how to use PowerPoint, how to present at an event. That's a skill set that you're going to have to learn. I sent some pictures to you guys of books that I read. I didn't know how to do those things. I didn't know how to speak effectively. There were times that I was like, oh boy, I wish there was an undo button on that night. Like, that just didn't go well. Evaluate, okay, what didn't go well? But then when you see someone that does it well, emulate them. What did they do? What did you like about that? Every time I'm around Shelly Mackey, I'm watching her. What is she saying? What is she doing with people that draw them to her like nobody else? And then I start doing those same things. Very good eye contact. Very personal. She'll touch your arm. She leans into you. She hears what you're saying. She's like your best. You're her best friend now. Like, she does very well connectiveness. That's a skill that has to be developed. You don't always have that. Organizational skills, if you feel like you're just all over the place, you gotta find something that works. Teamzy, Mallory put that out on Voxer. I don't know if you guys heard that. It's TEAMZY, teamzy.com. It's about, you get a 30-day free trial, and it's a lot to set up because it tells you how to download your Facebook contacts and like contacts in your phone, and it takes a good couple of days to set it up. I'm not joking. But once it's in there, it's a great system of an automated DMO. It tells you who to contact next, and then it has a list of 10 scripts that you get to pick one from. And it's all about relationship building. And it's on different teams or different businesses. It's not just to Juice Plus, but you can specify it to Juice Plus. Like, you say you're a Juice Plus rep, and then it has like our language in there. So it's very good. If you need something that kind of prompts you and you're not sure what to do next, and you're not sure who to follow up with and how to start conversations, and you just need some direction and guidance with that and reminders, that's a great one. Teamzy.com. It's about $30 a month, and like she said, $1 a day, and it's really helping her. And I can see she's getting results because it's consistent follow-up. It helps you with the follow-up too. And if you're competitive, it gives you like a score at the end of the day. Like, you want to get the circle completely finished, that you finished at 100%. And then she's like, I'll do anything to get that 100%. Like, I want that build. And it really takes the focus off of the results and just do the activity. It's not about the results. It's like you get credit just for doing the activity. Are there any skill sets that you guys have that you feel like you need help with? Or like you're like, okay, this is a weak spot for me?
Just one?
Don't beat yourself up.
I feel like I am very relational, and so that is a positive for me, but there's a lot of chaos with my organization. It's overwhelming. And so when Mallory put out the Team Z, I'm like, that could be really good, but I'm thinking more that I need it for just keeping track of, that could really be helpful for reaching out as well, but does it also offer the ability to get more organized on the other side of things with your customers and the team that you have? And does it offer any of that?
It does.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's all aspects of it, yes. And the follow-up too.
That's awesome, because I was starting to look into that and hadn't had a chance to really delve deep, but I would love to do that just to take some of that chaos off my plate.
Mm-hmm. And yes, lots of training videos. Tap into those. Watch the training videos or your
okay.
Because it does look overwhelming. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It took me a couple days to upload everything, and then it was just at a time where I was like, my brain is just on overload trying to get ready for conference, and I said, I'll come back to this. But the more I look at it, the more I start doing it, then I'm like, okay, I'm understanding this better. I'm getting that.
Okay.
So be patient with yourself.
All right.
I feel like with me, I've already got some of those skills. I've got a management position with my job. I've got the leadership. I think I've got some leadership skills. I teach Zumba, and so I feel like I've got that influence. I think with me, it's just consistent activity.
Yeah.
Days will go by, and I don't realize where the week has gone, and I realize I haven't done much. So I feel like that's my thing in relationship building, because it's too easy for me to just kind of get internal and not build the relationship. So it's like I need that relationship building that I really lack.
You know what I found that helped with that for me, because I'm the same way. Is to just to pick a date, put an event on the calendar, put it there, and invite one person. And once that first person is invited, you're kind of committed. If you just have that date on the calendar for yourself, then you can easily move that date. But I go ahead and invite, whether it's a team member that I know is going to be there, or whether it's a customer. But most of the time, this is what my plan is to do one event for one team member a week. So if one person's on Tuesday and another person's on Thursday, then the next week I can put that other Tuesday person, like trying to keep them on a 1 week and help at least the people that are direct to me. I'm going to see how that works, because it keeps me accountable and it keeps me connected to that team member. Because I feel like we should have more hangout time and not a lot of, just like, because conference is so fun because we get to just kind of hang out and learn, and it's not always events. So maybe even once a month, like having a get together at my house for the whole team that's here, and then zooming people in and not doing anything but eating, broccoli if we want to, or pizza, or, having some wine together, because that's what it's about. It's about building those relationships. And it's really easy for me to back into myself too, Jen. So I get it. But yeah, I get it.
Jamin, we've done that before. We'll have times when we get together and just invite all of Gloria's, team. We did a big pool party at my house last summer, and just had everyone come and bring their kids, and we just had fun, and it does help strengthen your team, and those are fun.
Yeah, I've never had one. I guess because my team hasn't really been big enough yet, but to be able to do that and just let them trust me more, you know?
That in mind. It's fun, even if it's just one other person, we had fun.
True.
Yeah.
You know, we would just meet up and go, okay, I guess it's you and I guess it's me. Or I guess it's me and I guess it's you. So we still had a good time, and that's how it all started. It was like, you know, every event, if we had one person come, we were thrilled. And then you might get two. And it's like, you know, it's just the way it is. You just keep building and having a good time.
That goes back to focusing on activity, not results. And I'm going to really think about that, because I think I get too worried about what I think the results are going to be.
Right.
And so I think if it's not going to end up being a good event, then I don't want to do it. That's the wrong attitude, and I know it is.
Because it's not just the number of people that come that makes the event.
Right.
It's all the activity that goes in. All of that counts, but we measure it by the event.
Right. Right.
So there's something that was talked about at conference, like the at least list, and I didn't get that, but I did get the daily grind list from Holly Morris, and Cindy and I have kind of been working on it, but it's a list that looks like this, and she said we could change it to our own information. And so we're working on what to put in those boxes that really fits us, because there were things that just didn't fit our team in there. So what I'm looking at, so like Motivation Monday is reach out to 5 people about the product. Then Team Building Tuesday, it was reach out to 5 people about the business, but I just don't think that's realistic. But it could be reach out to 2 of your team members and invite 1 person to join your mission. You know, like 5 a day. I would have a hard time inviting 5 people every Tuesday to come, you know?
But if you make it more existing team, like you're touching base with your existing team and looking and inviting 1 person,
Right.
that's a little more doable.
Yeah.
Because you need to stay in touch with your team, existing team too.
Right. And then Wednesday work day, we were just brainstorming some things that, like inviting to an event, like if Wednesdays were the days you really put in significant effort of inviting to events. Thoughtful Thursday, customer care, touch base with 5 people minimum. That's an easy one that you could do. Friday, follow-up Friday, circle back around, and anyone that you've already touched base with, go through them. And then the daily grind, it just says to perform repetitive actions over and over again in order to attain a goal, which I like the definition, but I think some sort of list of activities, like what does that even look like? Those are things over and over again, but I had listed out some other things like posting on Facebook, you know, at least a couple times a week, if not every day, listening to Voxer so you stay caught up and you don't feel overwhelmed, commenting on friends' posts on Facebook. Like, what are some just small things that you can do each day that when you do them over and over and over again, that they're going to get results? So I've been thinking about that, and you guys are welcome.
Even check email. I know my email just goes crazy, and we get a lot of things from the company and customers. But if you checked it every day for just a few minutes, that would help.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that, Stacy. I like that list.
I was even thinking we could get them printed on like a postcard size and then mail them out to our team members.
Oh, I like that.
With like a handwritten note or something from us, and just say, this is a focus that we're going to do for the next, 6 months, or at a team training, you can use that or something like that.
Sounds good.
I have a quick question.
Okay.
Under structure requirements, it says 3 club and 2 legs with PB qualifier. I thought a 3 club meant you had 3 PB qualifiers.
Right. So it's saying 2 of them need to be working lines. So 2 of the 3 would need to have 6 distributors underneath them. The 3rd could just be a qualifier that doesn't have that much of a team.
Oh, okay.
So 2 of them need to be what they're considering working lines.
Is that what PBQ stands for?
I don't know.
PB qualified.
Yeah.
To be qualified. Okay.
But it's not just qualified, it's working lines.
Right.
Two of them, right. So that means, so it's like 2 lines that are building a team. And then the other one could just be somebody that is qualifying their business mostly from their own customers and maybe 1 or 2 team members. But why, like, you got to think about why would they want that? A working leg with 6 people underneath it is a stable person. You know, that means they have buy-in, they're doing activity, they're actually working. And if one of those people underneath them fall out, it's not going to make that qualifier go away. Because if the idea is just to get to sales coordinator, then yeah, just have 3 people barely qualifying their business and you're there. But the goal that we're all reaching is to get to national marketing director. So you want lines that are working and building.
So with that working line, do the 6 people that they need to have with them, the 6 reps, do all those reps need to be having something specific that they have that you're looking at too, or just 6 reps? How does that work?
6 reps that have 3 to 5 customers, so 90 points a month. So that means they've got customers underneath them. So you could look on your downline growth and current PVC report and look at the column 4, March PBQ. And then if they have 90 or above, then that would be considered a working line. You know, that would be one of the 6 reps. I mean, and it doesn't take much. Like just a couple of customers. I'm looking here, somebody that has 242 points in that. They have 5 customers. This one has 188 points and it's 6 customers, so it depends on what they're ordering, obviously. But if their family is on Juice Plus, they have the points. They have that 90 PVC.
And Stacy, something that you've always said encourages me, and I don't know why you would think it might be a discouragement, but it encourages me when you say the people that you started with, the people that got you to sales coordinator, are not the same ones that helped you get to NMD. And I guess the reason it encourages me is because even though you lost some of those teammates that helped you get to sales coordinator, you were still able to get new ones and keep moving on, you know?
Yeah. Because you are going to lose people that just lose heart. They don't want to do it anymore. I mean, if I told you guys the number of sales coordinators I'd lost over the years, you would end the call and not talk to me anymore. It's not really something we talk about, but it happens, you know? I mean, it's okay. It doesn't mean you're not a good leader. It just means it wasn't right for them at that time. And then, you know, Sarah Ray comes back 10 years later and is on fire. And she asked me, Stacy, did you get really frustrated with me? Like, were you really like, why is she doing this? And why can't she get it? Like, I can only imagine how frustrated you were with me. And I said, honestly, Sarah, I don't really remember. I had goals and I was moving forward. I wasn't going to let your indecision affect mine. Like, I didn't spend too much time lamenting that you weren't coming. Like, maybe that's harsh. And she was like, no, that's really good. That's a good mindset to have. I wasn't going to camp out and wait for her to come along. I had goals. I was moving forward. You can come, but you don't have to. I don't want someone on my team that doesn't want to be there.
Yeah. You were being a good trick-or-treater. You went to the next house.
That's right. Linda, tell that story. Maybe Jamin's never heard the trick-or-treater story. Have you heard it, Jamin?
I don't think so.
So they were telling us, when little kids are out trick-or-treating and they knock on someone's door and nobody is there, Or if they get like a small little tiny yucky piece of candy, they don't keep knocking on the door, either trying to get them to answer or knocking, trying to get a better piece of candy. They don't. They skip on down the sidewalk and they're off to the next house. And they were telling us that, I think it was one of the conferences, they said, you know, you need to think like a trick-or-treater. You don't see them out there in the street crying and pounding on the same door and giving up. I'm just not going to trick-or-treat anymore because the last 2 houses were junk, you know. They don't do that. They're excited and they move on to the next house, and they're just out there trick-or-treating, doing their thing, and don't get hung up. And so I always think about that, and every now and then I'll try to remind myself to be a good treater.
Oh, that's going on my fridge. That quote.
It's a good one, right? It's
That's
such
a good one.
picture.
You know, and you think about that, they're just, you know, it's not about what happened with that one house or even 2 or 3 houses. It's like, next.
Oh, that's good.
Still have-
That's good stuff.
They're still having fun. And we want to have fun. This group right here, I love all of you ladies, and you know, I think we could have fun together doing this.
Wouldn't it be fun to all walk across the stage together?
It would be
Oh,
so
yeah.
fun.
It'd be a crazy conference.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun?
We all want crowns, Stacy.
Yeah.
Whatever
It's
you guys
ashes.
want. Like, if you just tell me what you want.
We all want crowns.
I want to go to bed.
Crowns?
I'm going to tell you good night.
You want to go to bed. She's done. Okay.
I'm done. It's very past my bedtime. I'm done. I'm not a night owl.
Turn into a pumpkin.
I'm tired too.
Yeah.
Good night.
All right.
So long.
Love
Goodbye.
you guys. Bye.